In your journey, you would have encountered clients who were not actually supposed to be your clients. Like you made them your clients, but later on you realized that they were literally just a burden. They were just a pain. They were sucking the soul out of you. So in today's video, we are going to talk about a few red flags that you should look in your client before you actually onboard them and start working with them. Because see, what happens is most of the times in 90% cases, on a discovery call, you can figure out whether this client is going to work with you for the longer run or not, if he's good enough or not, or is he a toxic one or a genuine one. But what happens in the 10% cases is that you sign the client, you start working, a few days pass by, and then you are like, oh my god, this guy is literally creating a nuisance in my life, and I cannot focus on the work, and he's draining too much energy. I'm putting in too much efforts for the amount of money that I'm getting. So in this video, we're going to talk about those red flags. I don't know the number, but if you could have a pen and paper, that would really work out well for you. So without wasting any much time, let's get straight into it. The number one thing that happens with these red flag clients that you should notice on every discovery call is their expectations. Because these red flag clients, they have this unrealistic expectations that if they are hiring a marketer, the marketer should know SEO, PPC, paid PR campaigns. He should do everything. He should create graphics for you. He should edit your reels. Short. Now, this is the work of six people. They want one person to do it, and they are paying him the salary for one person. So, like the budget for all the six things that I told you, it should be 2 lakhs, but they are going to hire a guy for 50,000 and expect him to do all this. Like, this is a work of a whole team. Like, you are not Vaibhav that you can do it all on your own. So, and Vaibhav doesn't charge us 50,000. That's for sure. So you have to see the expectations, because if the expectations are too high and unrealistic and you see and you know that you can't fulfill it, run away. Do not sign that client. Second point, and this is the both the points are for discovery call. The first point was also for discovery call. This one is also for discovery call. That is that these people, they pretend like they know it all. So if you talk with somebody, you are a LinkedIn ghostwriter or you are a video editor, and you are talking with the client for your ghostwriting or video editing services, and the client again and again is saying that, oh, I can do this as well, I can do this as well, I used to do this, it's not that tough of a job, I can do it on my own, I know this, I know that, and all that crap. Because see, if a person knows too much and yet they are hiring for that particular role, doesn't make sense. If you are too good at what you do, you don't need to hire other people until unless you know that whatever you are doing isn't working out. So you need other people who actually know stuff and they can work it out for you, right? So if I'm a Web3 marketer, I'm not gonna hire another Web3 marketer for the same project that I'm working on. I'll only hire the other person when I'm not able to deliver the results, but I have to deliver results. But in my case, it will never be like that because I always deliver results. Third thing, and the last thing that you have to see on the call, is about the pricing, whether it be the international market or the domestic market. These people, what they do is they will say that you are charging too much. So with Indians, I don't need to tell you the bargaining thing that we have over here, it applies to all the skill sets. But when you go international as well, there you will be questioned and you will be looked down because of your nationality. And that happens. Whenever someone does that, just distance yourself. Do not work with that person anymore. Do not entertain them. Because what happens is the person who is making you feel insecure, who is telling you that you are not worth this much amount of money, you don't want to work with that person. Because it makes literally no sense, no matter where you are based out of. If you are having those skill set, if you can deliver results, you have to deliver results. And if you can deliver them, you need to have that respect, the integrity, and basically a good environment to work in. These people, they can't give you that. So these are the three things. Now, in 10% cases, you ignore all these three things, and for some reason, something different comes out, and you start working with the client. 2 weeks have passed, and now you are having some serious problems. So here is the pattern that you have to notice if your client is a red flag or not. And the number one thing after signing and working with the client and see is that if you are sensing anything that comes close to that, I pay you, I owe you, your client is toxic. You are working with a red flag, because you cannot control someone's time by paying them money. Now, usually businesses do that, entrepreneurs, they do that, everyone does that, but in practical essence, if you are a good freelancer, you have to make yourself stand out. This is not how you do it. Because when you work with a $3,000 client, he's going to just ask you two questions. You work with a $300 client, he's going to ask you 30 questions, barest minimum. That's the difference between the mindset of somebody who is spending $300 and who is spending $3,000. A person who spends more, he knows a lot of stuff. His psychology is different, his way of operating is different, and then he's not gonna pinch down, narrow down, and look down up to you every single time. See this, if your client is again and again saying that I'm paying you for this job, this is your job, you are being paid, and all that crap, do the work, see a perfect time when you have the opportunity to escape, and then just ditch them. Other thing that you need to know, and this is especially with Indian clients, and especially if your gender is female, late night texts. Look, I'll explain it to you with the help of my example. I'm working in the nights because I'm in the IST time zone. My clients' time zone, they are different. So usually when I'm working here around 11 p.m. to 3 or 4 a.m., usually that is like it's night here and it's afternoon or evening or late evening there. So I have to be in sync with the other marketing teams, marketing agencies, and all the other stuff that goes around marketing with people who are situated in different parts of the world. And somewhere it's around 3 a.m., somewhere it's 4 a.m. So we figure this thing out very in the initial stage, that at this particular time of the day, we are going to reach out to you and you shouldn't have any problem with it. And if you have a problem with it, let us know. If we can work something around it, that's fine. If we can't, then we'll have to see other, explore other options. What happened with Indian clients is that, I don't know, for some reason, after 10 p.m., every male Indian client, not every, most of the male Indian clients, they come up with something really important. And it doesn't make any sense to reach out to your contractor at the odd hours, especially when you're in the same time zone. Like, nothing is crashing down if they don't post out that particular thing, or if you don't get that query answered at that particular time. So see this thing, if your client isn't respecting your boundaries, if he is reaching out to you at odd hours, like a few times, like one, two, three times, might be an emergency, you can excuse that. But if it is becoming a habit, you have to notice the pattern. And as I say, you have to do a lot of things as a freelancer, so you have to figure that out. And if you feel that thing, nah, don't stay there, just try to move away. Another thing, and this is what, when I told you in the initial one, that if they have this I know it all attitude, what's gonna happen is that when you start working, when you submit your draft, it will be like, I could do this better, I could have made this change, I could have done it, I could have done it in small period of time, I could have done this, I could have done that. But the point, Dumbo, is that you are not doing anything. I'm doing the stuff, I know, and whatever I do is based on the feedbacks and the stuff that you are providing me, and I am utilizing the best of my skill set to deliver you that. So if it is not coming as per your expectations, it's equal fault of yours that you didn't provided me clear instructions. And if you didn't provided me clear instructions, how am I supposed to provide you the outcome that you have in your head? Because you have those instructions in your head, you have the final output in your head, but if your final output and my final output aren't matching, it's just not only my fault. It's your fault as a client as well, that you failed to tell me the requirements, the deliverables, and the final output in the way it should have been. That sounded like a monologue, but that's actually, you have to confront your clients. You have to tell them, you have to speak for yourself, because Vaibhav isn't going to do it on your behalf, right? You are on your own. Vaibhav does his own stuff. So Vaibhav has no other Vaibhav. You still have Vaibhav. So learn from Vaibhav and implement it. The last and final point that you should notice in your client is their flexibility. Because see, most of the time what happens is, most of the clients, they are chill. Even if I talk about Indians or internationally, most of us are chilled out. And I particularly believe that what kind of person you are, 90% of the times you are going to collide with personalities that are similar to yours. So if you are somebody who is duping people, you are going to end up getting duped. If you are someone who is helping out people, ultimately someone or the other is going to help you out. So if you are watching me, if my content is helping you out, that means that you definitely are a good soul and you have helped out people. Otherwise, a channel with 540 subscribers ain't just gonna pop up in your feed. No way, it's all luck, or it's all like, it's something else. You'll realize it with time. So if they are not flexible, what's the point? If your client is not flexible, if you cannot have your own time, if you are ill and you cannot take an off, what's the point of being a freelancer? The whole point is about the freedom. And freedom, like I say, it comes with a cost. But again, you have to see these events one, two, or three times. Like three is the maximum limit. Because before that, you can't say, like, if there is something really important, and then at that time you are saying that I need to go, the client will automatically say that please don't go. But if something is that it could wait, and then the client is saying over and over again and is pushing you to stay, that point you have to realize that something is going really wrong. I don't recall I said the last point or not, but yeah, there is one more thing, and that is energy training. Believe it or not, if you think you are dumb, you are not that kind of dumb that you think you are. Initially, I used to think that I am a very bad orator until I saw someone who was even a worse orator than me. So, everybody, you're like, jokes aside, you are not that dumb the way you think you are. Understand this thing. And you are not that much dumb to realize whether someone is draining your energy or not. I don't care about your personality type, introvert, ambivert, extrovert, whatever you are, how you identify. If somebody is draining your energy, somebody is sucking your energy out, you know it. You know it. You instantly know it. Now it's up to you when you realize that, but you know it. And if that's happening with your client, you need to sit down and evaluate the options whether you can leave this client or not. Because this field is all about your mind. And if somebody is sucking the energy throughout, you are not optimally using your brain. And when you do not optimally use it, you do not optimally operate at your optimal temperature. The temperature here being the degree at which you operate in your skill set. So you do not deliver your 100%, which you are actually supposed to do because for that you are being paid. If somebody is sucking out energy a lot, cut them off because it is better to let go rather than holding on. These were a few things which I am sure 90% of you wouldn't know. In this video, I have used the 90% reference a lot. I don't know for what reason, but yes, majority would not know these things. You know it. If you have made notes, perfectly fine. Okay, before leaving, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't watched everything about international clients, the video is appearing right over here. You can watch it. And if you want to know how I went from 3,200 a month to 40,000 a month, the video is embedded right here. So watch them, learn, and stay tuned for more.